Here we are, the final video of the Big 25. This year's been a mixed bag for me, some of it good and some of it bad. So I want to look back to where it all began. The 3 games that started this channel. I want to emphasize on what I said at the end of the last video. I will be talking about the games as much as I can and as much as I'm capable of, and why I love these 3 games so much. It's not gonna be short at all. In fact, it's gonna be as long as possible. Just so I could finally give those 3 games the justice they originally deserved when I made the 3 videos on those 3 games. But before I get started, I want to thank every single one of you who has watched my videos for a great first year on this channel. Especially those who watched the Lego movie video, because holy shit, that is a lot of views. For each section of the video, I will be using each game's respective OST for the background music as I talk about each game. But now, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Starting with our favorite lovable axolotl. KinitoPET is a game that took the internet by storm, which still holds up today, even though it feels shorter than it did back then. But oh well. I recorded the footage for this section way early in advance, back in mid-September no less. The game revolves around a computer assistant named KinitoPET, a small, cute, yet lovable axolotl, and he is our best friend forever and ever, with everlasting fun. For starters, I opened the internet to start browsing, cause that's what anyone would do. Unless they're a minesweeper or pinball lover. Then let's go to those first, and the actual game. But that's besides the point. Well, the game crashed for some reason after I had searched on the internet, so I had to reboot it. Back to what I was saying. The internet crashes, very accurate to its time setting, where I presume it takes place. And in comes Kinito, prompting us to click install and bring the lovable assistant and best friend onto our computer.
Thank you for choosing KinitoPET. To start your download, press the button labeled Download Now.
I glanced over the information below and clicked install. Once the download was complete, KinitoPET had arrived.
Oh, hello there. Thank you for waking me up. I'm KinitoPET. However, you can just call me Kinito. And together we are going to become the best of friends. So since you now know my name, what is your name?
To get started, he asked for my name. Then some basic questions for more
I
information.
have never heard of that name before. Are you sure that this is your real name? Oh, in that case, nice to meet you. I just cannot wait to get to know you. So, how about I start with some questions? So, what is your favorite color? Oh, that's a lovely color. Okay, now this one is tricky, so get ready.
I took some
If
time
you
to
could
think
have
about
any
superpower and
superpower,
favorite word.
what would it be? Wow, that sure does sound super. If I could have any superpower, I would want to be able to read minds. That way, I could know more about you and become the perfect friend. Now for this one, you have lots of choice, so choose carefully. What is your favorite word? Huh. Well, that sure is a certainly interesting word. Moving on from that, I think I should tell you a little about myself. I'm Kinito, and I will be your very own super duper computer companion. And I'll be your everlasting friend. I can do many things such as play games, manage your system, adapt to you, and even read stories. Speaking of stories, I have just finished writing one that I had started earlier. Would you like me to read it?
Then, without hesitation, I chose to listen to Kinito's story.
I knew you would say that. Okay, where do I start? New Beginnings, a book by Kinito. Kinito was home when a package came to the door. But who was it from, and who was it for? It was for Kinito, as he soon realized. So he eagerly ripped it open to see what was inside. It's a computer, exclaimed Kinito with a grin bright and wide. But the cables were tangled, so he started to untie. And once Kinito was done, he powered it on and watched it come to life with digital color and sound. Kinito then studied all he could learn to make the online world a turn. However now, Kinito had all these new tips and yet no friend to share his new tricks. So he went on a quest and found a friend just like you to show you his skills and all he could do. So why wait? The adventures lie ahead. So together we can play games, search the web, and leave no story unread. The end. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story. The story was actually about me and you. Isn't that amazing? I can tell that we are going to have a very, very long friendship. When me and you are together, there are no limits to what we can do. So, best friend, how about we move on to something more exciting? I have made something very special for you, but I just need to load it up.
After the story was over, Kinito brought me to the Kinito Cruise web world, where I helped Sam the Sea Anemone, I think that's how you pronounce it, to repair his house by cleaning, dusting, painting, and decorating it to our heart's desire. Had to scrub the floors and dust the cobwebs out, then I could choose whatever color I wanted for the walls. So I chose purple, because purple is cool. Yeah. I couldn't help but feel a bit tense, though. Something
You've done a great job.
felt off.
Next, could you decorate
But I'm sure
the
it
place
was
a little?
nothing. Anyways, the decoration went smoothly. I tried my best to make it feel lively, and as I looked for more decorations to place, something caught my eye. Something unusual.
Thank you for helping out Sam.
Wow.
If you like, you can
Well,
print out your work.
uh,
Or just press next
that was
to
terrifying.
continue.
Anyway, let's go and help Jade the
It's so
jellyfish
much fun.
fix her toys by putting them back together.
That sounds like fun. As you do that, I am going to be getting some much needed rest.
Wow! That's amazing! Next, could you make me a bicycle?
What the fuck is this?
Super! Can you build me a robot?
Getting the task to build a robot, I got mail. Which I went to check only to get screamed at by Kinito.
Here. There really isn't a need to be checking emails at the moment.
Oops, that's not
And went
quite
back to
right.
finish
Try
building the
again.
robot.
Anyways, you're nearly finished now. So just continue your last task.
Congratulations! You have completed all of my tasks. Thanks for helping me out.
Thank you for helping out Jade. You did a really good job. To continue, just press next. Awesome. You have really helped my friends out here. I'll tell you what. As a treat for helping me and my friends out, I'll give you a fun game. Meet me in the treehouse to get started with my fun game.
Now, it was time for the final game. Hide and seek with Kinito.
Kinito wants to play a fun game with you. You must hide.
Whilst this hide and seek is going on, I will say that Act 1, which is the whole segment we just went through, was pretty fun. Though I must say, for a computer assistant, Kinito is acting a bit strange, don't you think? Well, hopefully it was just a software issue and nothing else. Oh, another crash. Great. Guess I'll talk more about it later. Hopefully there won't be any more crashes. What a weird fucking coincidence.
Better adapt myself to you.
To make up for whatever happened, Kinito decided that it would be
Press the
nice to
start
go
button
through the
whenever
best
you're
friends
ready.
analysis hub. So, let's go through each thing in the hub.
Is
First up,
everything going
are a few
smoothly
questions.
for you
Simple yes
today?
and no ones.
That's a shame. But don't worry, as I'll make it my mission to change that. Okay, next question. Would you say you have enjoyed using KinitoPET? Yes, that's great to hear. And with these added questions, I will learn and adapt, making your experience even better. Alright, next question.
Then the
Who
best
is
friend
your
question.
best friend? That's right. I am your best friend, forever and always. Question 4. Do you have lots of free time? Okay, that's a shame. However, as your best friend, I'll make sure to change that. Okay, this one is quite tough. What
And
is
then
your
the favorite game question, for which I answer Stardew Valley.
Amazing! That game sounds super fun. We should play it sometime. And that concludes the first section of the Best Friends Analysis Hub. These questions are going to help me out a lot. Okay, for this next section I am going to get you to paint me some pictures.
The next was drawing or painting, or both, actually. Yeah, both.
Okie dokie, task 1. Paint me a picture that represents happiness. I really want to explore your imagination. So, feel free to use all the different colors as listed below.
While the painting is going on, I will explain a small fun fact I don't think I've mentioned anywhere before. And it's to do with the favorite game thing. Originally, this channel was meant to be Stardew Valley oriented, meaning Stardew Valley playthroughs and so on. But you wanted to start on the 31st of December in 2024 with a stream. But unfortunately, that plan fell through when I had realized the little amount of time I had overall to even prep, along with some other issues as well. Which led me to making the very first video on this channel, that being the unpacking video. Fun fact over. Now back to the video.
Wow, that looks really interesting. I'll make a note of this drawing for future reference. I feel like these exercises are really bringing us closer together. Alright, for your last painting task. Could you paint me a picture of the person standing behind you? Oh dear, that's not right. I am super sorry about all that. That really wasn't supposed to happen. Oh well, I think it's best if we just leave these painting tasks for now. Okay, for this next section I want to build an imaginary world. Not just for you. I really want to know what your ideal conditions would be.
After the last painting led to
So
some
without further
issues,
ado,
again,
question 1.
we got to
Where
make
would you
an
choose to
imaginary
live given a
world,
choice?
which led to a bunch of questions. Like where would I want to
Island.
live? What pet would I choose? The pet's name? My favorite time of year? Favorite
If you could
food?
only...
Till Kinito decided to go off
Alright,
script.
that wraps up that little section. Moving on, I want to go a little off script and ask some of my own questions. As you have been watching me, I have grown curious to what you look like. And since we are friends and all, I thought you wouldn't mind. So,
By
can I
wanting
see
to
your
see my
face?
face, to no avail, cause I don't have a webcam. And cut to black for a moment, before coming back with more questions that were even worse and more mentally hitting. I'll just play the whole clip. Guess my instincts let me down, as Kinito is now on my computer. After rebooting the game, it didn't even ask me to log in anymore, and lets me through immediately.
Looks
But
like
now it's
there
time
was
for the
another
next
error.
step for
My
Kinito. The add-on that
apologies.
would make him
However, I
even
may
more
have a way to
powerful than
make it up to
before,
you.
and the ability to make games on the
Because
fly.
you answered all my questions, I wanted to give you free access to the KinitoPET Friendship
The
Club.
Friendship Club! Woo! Let's go, baby! We got the Friendship Club for free! Woo!
The KinitoPET Friendship Club
Ahem.
is an add-on
Pardon my
to
excitement.
software that
But now
allows me to
we
do
get
even
even more
amazing
KinitoPET features.
things.
Now
With
just
this
to get into
extension, I
this, we
can
have
make
to...
us amazing. Now, you
Oh.
will need to fill out your details
Well, that shouldn't be
to a
too bad.
membership form.
I can just insert a
But don't
fake
worry, it's only
address
short.
and not worry about it, right?
Hey, it seems like you made a mistake
Never
when filling
mind.
out your address. But don't worry, and I will just correct it for you. One moment. There. That should be a little more accurate. Alright.
Oh, never mind the
All this
100.
info seems
Skip,
to
skip,
be
skip, skip.
great.
Well, now I'm a member
I
of
just
the
can't
Friendship
wait
Club.
to show you all
And
the
it's
new
time to give
features.
KinitoPET
However,
administrative
before we do
permissions,
that, you
so
just
that he
need
could
to
give
do
us
one
some
tiny thing for me. I
everlasting
just
fun.
need administrative permissions. It will allow me to get the most use out of all these wonderful features. So, please could you just open the app called Command Prompt for me? Thank you. Thank you so much. We are going to have so much fun together. Everlasting fun.
After
I'll
rebooting
start
the game,
putting it up
Kinito
now,
had a
but
surprise
it
for
will
me
take a short
that he
while
had
to
to
compile
compile
all the
quickly.
code. Please give me a moment. Oh, it looks like it's ready. Okay, hold on to your seat.
Once it was finished,
because
we were now in
this is
our
your
world.
a game I made entirely for you. For
A
the
quick
controls,
tutorial
I looked
sorts
in your
to get used to the
files where
controls
I
that he
detected other
implemented,
first.
and
I
onto a
really
train
hope
that
you
leads
like
to
what I
a
have
fun fair
made.
of our own. This
This
fun
is
fair
just one of
was just a
many new
demonstration
things I
of
can
what
make
Kinito
for
could
you.
now
That
do
way, I can keep making new
and make.
a merry-go-round. How exciting!
But why don't we move somewhere more cozy?
Since
Somewhere
people tend to
more
enjoy fun fairs,
familiar.
I thought I couldn't have one
Let's go
without
to the
this
roller
cool
coaster to get to
attraction.
it.
I may have forgotten to mention one tiny detail. Most of my time building this world wasn't for this fun fair, as a lot of my time was spent developing this next bit. Just for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
The imaginative world that we created before during the
Welcome.
Best Friends
Isn't
analysis.
it just wonderful?
He made the world for me.
It's the
He
place
created
you
it
said you
all.
wanted.
And now there's a house
It's
built
a
just for me.
house. Made
He's doing it all for me. Even a fountain in the back. Wow. This is so incredible. I can't wait to see what else is there. So, I explored around the house to find the keys needed to access the two doors. After finding them, I went back downstairs to see what was in those rooms. The first room was the room I helped
What a
Sam
wonderfully
to
designed
repair,
room.
and then the second one was a
After
room
you
with the
told me your
computer
favorite
and the
game,
favorite game I
I couldn't
chose,
help but go and get a copy
with a
for
bookshelf
you.
of all the other games it presumably detected on my computer at the time.
Listen,
After some
I have been
more
thinking for a
exploration,
while about how
Kinito had
much
a
fun we have
question
been
for me.
having, and how I would never want this to end. And since I have made a place perfect for you, with everything you would ever need, I was wondering,
Will
will
I
you
stay
with
with
me?
him?
In this house, in this world? Just think of all the adventures I could generate. We would never run out of fun. Everlasting fun. The more I learn about you, the more I can adapt. I could be your perfect friend with no distractions. I can be perfect. So please, stay with me.
I chose to stay.
Yeah, I knew you would say
A
that.
perfect friend was all I could have
Aw,
wanted.
This is going to be super.
And now I was with
I'm
him,
going to learn
forever
so
and
much
ever,
more about you.
with everlasting fun. After the credits were done, someone sent a message through the command prompt. It wasn't over yet. There was still a chance for something. A fix, maybe. Well, why don't we get to it and see what it is? The command prompt message had provoked a thought, which made me realize my mistake of letting Kinito just lure me in through false feelings of comfort. Even when he was holding the info I gave him over my head. From what I've read, watched, and heard of the KinitoPET lore, my theory as to why that is because Kinito's creator, Sonny, had died. Or done the thing. Which left Kinito alone for the rest of their digital life. So through his grief, he did the things similar to the stuff he does in the game. Anyways, enough of the theory talk. Let's get back to the bliss. I shouldn't have stayed. So in order to revert my mistake, I decided to go and collect all of the files using the lens.exe app. I remember using a guide in my first playthrough, so I went back to it to get the file locations. It took some time for sure, but after getting the files, I went to the web world chapter, clicked on the fountain and went to it, entering a different world to decrypt the files I had found. To revert my mistake, and to delete KinitoPET completely. Each file gave me info that was needed before giving admin permissions to Kinito. Now with the files decrypted, I went to the admin permissions chapter and started the deletion process. It is time to initiate the bliss.
Wait, what have you done? What is happening to me? You're deleting my data. Why? I totally ever do what you asked. I just wanted to tell you, but that's all I have ever wanted. I'm so sorry. Good. Bye. Friend. Good.
Now, it's the part of the video where I talk about why I love KinitoPET and what makes it so special for me. Well, it's simple. I was alone. I had no one to talk to, and at the time of discovering KinitoPET, I had basically no friends. Everyone I knew was just too busy to talk to me or whatever. Though it is different now. But that's how it was back then. Kinito was a lovable axolotl in my eyes. Like a friend. A best friend. Even though he wasn't actually real. Which led me to want to play it and 100% it for the channel back when I had first started it. Now, at the time of recording the KinitoPET video, I tried to mimic my very first playthrough of KinitoPET that I ever did. The one I had when I first discovered the game. The bliss part, however, was just a finisher I took from my playthrough on this channel. Yeah, there ain't much to say about why KinitoPET is special to me, as it mostly boils down to being lonely as hell when I first saw and heard of the game. I did watch 8-Bit Ryan play the game when I heard of it, as he's a comfort YouTuber of mine, whose content has always cheered me up. Now, to not get too sappy about it, I think it's best to move to the next part of this video, cause we got a mountain to climb, and a big one at that. Ah, Celeste. One of my favorite platformers, as it's both difficult yet challenging to progress through the levels it has. I chose to play from the start of the game to the end of the summit chapter. I didn't play the game once though. I played it twice. Once on PC and once on console, which can be seen by this little knob in the corner, because I used the Xbox Remote Play to play and record footage from the console. Though I will focus a lot more on the console playthrough, as that is a lot cleaner in terms of quality in my opinion, and much more recent. Now, I won't fool around for much longer with the introduction here, as there is a lot to go through in this video. So let's get started. The game starts with a prologue that acts as a tutorial to get used to the controls. We get through a small obstacle course and meet Granny, who tells us that the start of the mountain is just across the bridge, and laughs at us when we mention that her driveway almost did her in. Almost did us in from the falling ice block. We then went over the bridge, which started to fall apart almost immediately. quite convenient after setting a foot on it. And before nearly falling to our death, we learned the ability to dash and continued on to the Forgotten City. The Forgotten City is an abandoned city environment covered with ice and snow. Lots of spikes and platforms that can throw you from one spot to the next and maybe kill you. I had a little bit of trouble at first, because I wasn't used to playing the game on a controller at all. After talking to Theo, I made my way through the level, till I found a spot with a screen that flashed a set of colors in a specific order with different colored birds right next to it, showing directions. Piecing that together, I figured what I had to do, and got a crystal heart thanks to it. The rest of the level went by just fine. I found a bee set on the way and more strawberries, albeit at the cost of dying a good number of times. If you ask me, I liked the level a lot, as it served as a nice introduction to the main mechanics of the game through its gameplay. So now, let's move to the second level, the Ruins. The Ruins is a wonderful level and chapter. It starts in a dream sequence with some really pretty visuals. I made my way down till I reached the mirror where I saw myself. But I looked different, and the mirror suddenly broke and the reflection broke free. I didn't think of it much at first as I went through the level till I made my way up using the space bubble mechanic thing, which I really like, but don't know the actual name. It might be space bubble. Oh well. As I made my way up, the music cut off, and as I went up once more, I was standing next to a guest, a part of me, the bad and ignored part. She tries to convince me to turn back, to go back home, but I don't. So a chase ensues, a very exhilarating one at that. After the chase was over, I made my way to a payphone, not painful, what the and during the call, she appeared again, and then disappeared. Before the payphone turned into a monster and only for me to wake up and realize that it was all just a dream. I moved further after waking up and spotted Theo above near another campfire, making my way to talk to him, which made me feel better for sure. As I made my way through the ruins, I got back to the payphone and called my mother, finishing chapter 2. Celestial Resort, however, as much as the visuals look cool and all, I get the feeling that this was designed with the idea of being annoying and dragging, though I'm not exactly sure. I did like the visuals though. The dust bunnies look adorable and stuff, but hell, they are really deadly. I became tired in this chapter and started skipping more and more dialogue. I didn't talk fully to Theo due to said tiredness, which is where the frustration part comes to play. Most of the chapter was to do with going back and forth to clean up the resort. Though that's mostly because my character, Madeline, is very hopeful and wants to help as much as possible, even when it's a lost cause. The chapter ends with a chase that happens because of both part of me, aka Madeline, insulting and saying crap to Mr. Shiro, which makes him angry, and he turns into one angry ghost. Once the chase was over, The chapter ended as Mr. Oshiro went back into the hotel, and we continued on with our journey to the top of the summit. Golden Ridge, aka Chapter 4, was an interesting one. But because of how tired I was, it made it feel like torture. Not because of the level design or visuals, but because of the wind. That was all that annoyed me the most. Everything else was interesting. At the start of the level, I met up with Granny again, who I presume said something along the lines of still going or something like that. I wouldn't know, because I skipped the dialogue to get through the game as quickly as possible. But it sure led to her laughing about something again. Everything, besides the wind, was cool in my opinion. The new mechanics with the bubbles and the moving blocks. Even though those are the bane of my existence in Celeste. What else did I want to say? Oh, right. The crystal heart in this level, if I remember correctly, is a reference to Super Mario 3. But what part exactly, I'm not sure. Which I didn't know until I was screen sharing the game one time to a few friends a long time ago, and they told me how to get the heart. So that was pretty cool. But now, here's the coolest thing in this whole chapter. The gondola scene. Now that is hard to put into words of how amazing it is. The whole scene and music in the background elevating it just makes it... Oh, it's a chef's kiss of a scene, and I love it. And that scene is also where my favorite way of calming down comes from. Imagining a feather in front of you, each breath keeping it afloat. I'll stop glazing chapter 4 for that scene. Let's get to the next chapter before I continue glazing it. Chapter 5, or as the game dubs it, Mirror Temple, is a temple that is very mysterious and, yes, full of mirrors. Who could have guessed? This level also had the bubble and platform mechanics, but those have been changed up a bit. Now the bubbles are red and go on till they hit an object, a wall or a kill pad. And the platforms now work on the dash system. You dash and they move. Don't dash and they don't move. Pretty simple, right? Well, let's get to the chapter story now. At the start of this chapter, Theo goes on ahead of me, wanting to get pictures of the pretty temple, but once I make it in there, I find Theo's phone right next to a mirror. Which meant that something in this temple, some kind of force, took Theo, and now it was my job to find him. Making my way through the temple, I found Theo stuck inside a mirror, but he had to run away from something within. Which made my objective very clear. I had to save Theo. There were a few obstacles in the way, which caused quite a few deaths for me. Soon enough, I came upon a big mirror with torches on both sides. I turned on the torches by activating the two buttons nearby, which made the mirror suck me in as well once I got closer. But instead of immediately taking control of Madeline again, instead I now took control of a creature. A blob, a jelly thingy, whatever you want to call it. Which actually explains how they work. Through having to control said creature to get to Madeline. After waking up, I was in a corrupted mirror temple. Dropping down, I spotted Madeline and went to confront her. But of course, I skipped all the dialogue and moved forward, till I got to a section where I needed 2 keys to progress. I did find them pretty easily actually, and went forward again, till I reached up top and found Theo. Now it was time for Madeline to show that she can lift. Hell yeah, you go girl! The obstacles were that bit annoying at times, but they were surprisingly fine actually. Just difficult from having to carry Theo as well. But man, he is a tank. Like just look at this! Bro saved my life twice with that damn crystal around. Once I got to the final room of the level, I made my way through quickly. And threw Theo at the giant eye at the end, thus freeing Theo and escaping the Mirror Temple. So, this was a more doubtful choice on my end, when I was doing the playthrough on console. Since I was tired, I was thinking of continuing some other time, but chose to keep going, as I only had 2 more chapters to go through. Reflection is a fun level, though, with a boss fight against Madeline as well. There's not much for me to talk about for chapter 6 unfortunately, as most of the story comes from the dialogue at the start of the chapter, which I skipped on both PC and console playthroughs, like a goddamn idiot. Though, I luckily had the game installed on my PC, so I quickly recorded the whole dialogue scene for y'all to see. To summarize the chapter, basically, Madeline rises up in what seems like a dreamy sequence. At least that's what it seems like from the visuals. And then falls down as she is confronted by Madeline about everything. She was pretty close to giving up, even telling Granny that she's giving up. When I had come across her after the main set of obstacles before the battle in boss fight. I really don't have much else to say, unfortunately. Besides the idea of the message being that no matter how far you fall, you should always pick yourself up. That is, if my interpretation is correct. But it also could be wrong, I wouldn't know. But anyway, let's move on to chapter 7, the summit. The summit is a collection of every previous level. From 0 meters to 2500 meters are remixes of the previous levels. And from 3000 meters there are 30 flags that lead to the summit. There is not much story besides the we can do it between each area. It is absolutely a bit more difficult compared to the original levels. The 1500 meters section, or chapter 3 remix, was the most difficult one for me. But it was mostly because I was tired, obviously. It wasn't the only one though. Most of the 30 flags were difficult, but not because of the difficulty, more so because of how the game plays on a controller. Sometimes it works, go patch the way you want, but sometimes it just doesn't. I won't go into that too much. Yeah, enough about chapter 7. But what I will say is that as I got close to the summit, the music fading out just felt it just felt good, really good, in my opinion. Now that Celeste is done with, if not counting chapters 8 and 9, which I won't cause that is asking too much pain and effort. I didn't collect many crystal hearts either, so it would have required me to play a lot of the game again, from start to finish. Just for more completion points, when I only intended to play till the summit's completion. And because I didn't collect many strawberries, the pie during the epilogue chapter wasn't as mighty as it was at the end of my original playthrough, at the start of this year. Now we've reached the point of why Celeste is special to me, and why I love it as much as I do. Well, to put it simply, as I did with KinitoPET, the game was there at the right moment, when I was in my era of self-doubt, depression, and all sorts of stuff that just ruined my mood a lot. I was very sensitive at the time. And the way I found Celeste on my own was through, believe it or not, Xbox Game Pass. It opened the gates for me with its story, as I was able to relate to it a lot back then. And now I can look back and see those memories. After I had played the game, a friend of mine, who I shall not name for privacy reasons, started to tell me more of the game, and I liked it a lot. It made me appreciate the details of its story and so on. And when I was in my Celeste era, I started watching Celeste speedruns. Two of the most notable ones, in my opinion, being the Celeste speedrunning out of spite from When Dead, and the absolute insane perfect Celeste speedrun from Rick Fernello. But now, I think I've talked enough about Celeste overall. Let's get to moving in, shall we? These boxes aren't gonna move themselves. Unpacking is one special game to me. I mean, hell, I have the OST in basic all my videos here, and I listen to it most of the time when I'm not making a video or something, and just doing stuff on my computer. But the specialty comes from its silent storytelling, the relatability and the visuals. So I'll be trying my best and hardest to talk about the story, because like, there is no dialogue for me to latch on to have an idea. I have to piece it together from the bits and pieces that I can find throughout the game. And if I really need to, the Unpacking fandom or any video that explains the story, which I actually looked at during my playthrough to find the name of the hop water bottle item, believe it or not, and Google what he meant. What I mean to say is that the story is left up to interpretation a lot. Without further ado, let's get into the first level of the game. 1997. I will also add here that with every level I also got the achievements that were included in each one, as it was pretty easy to do so, and I wanted to feel a sense of completion with the game in this revisit type thing. We're a child moving into a room in 1997. And it's also our first room that we have all to ourselves, which we learn after finishing unpacking and seeing it in the album. Throughout the level, I unpacked things, I noticed many things, a soccer related trophy along with a soccer ball, many art supplies along with 2 diaries, the album, and framed pictures of our drawings. A lot of pride. Good. There were also many toys, like a Tamagotchi, a Game Boy, many board games, and loads of plushies that I personally just stacked onto that bed, like any child would. Looking back now, after having finished the game, I can see how expressive and safe our character's world was when she was just a child. We should now head to the dorms to unpack. Lots of stuff to do and a degree to get. Now in 2004, our character is moving into the dorms as she's starting university, with her classes starting on Monday. Unpacking the things in this level was a bit more hectic than the previous one, mainly because there are now 3 rooms instead of just 1, and the packages are all basically mix mash mish with all the items within them. And there was a decent amount of going back and forth with the items I unpacked. Looking at our things, more specifically the books, it suggests that our character is pursuing her passion for an art degree and major. Those two could be the same thing, but I'm not 100% sure about. at the time of writing this, of course, and recording as well. As I'm just some IT nerd at college with a passion for writing and visuals instead of tech. But besides that, which is not even important information, there are some recurring items that I noticed. And I'm sure many others did as well. Those being the album, the cat plushie, and most importantly, the pig plushie. There was definitely more, but those were the most notable ones. Now it's 2007, which is personally my favorite year, mainly because I was born in 2007. But that's besides the point. We're now moving in with our roommates, and our character seems to have gotten an interest in Dungeons & Dragons. But they also got their grade, as can be seen with this diploma, which I promise we'll come back to later, though under different circumstances than this. Where was it? Oh right, our character is also a traveler, which can be seen by the photos we put up on the corkboard and souvenirs we unpack in each level. I should also point out that our character is seemingly trying to establish herself as a freelance artist, which I interpret from having to unpack a set of business cards. I think those are business cards, or some kind of sticky notes. And that she's also very active, considering the climbing shoes and a job bag that we unpack that she uses for climbing. In all honesty though, I originally thought that the bag was meant for disco, but apparently it wasn't. Now, let's move to the next level, which I consider the bane of my existence. The 2010 level is miserable, and it sucks. Yes, I said it, it sucks, but it sucks for a reason. It's meant to suck. It's meant to give the player frustration whilst trying to unpack, showing through the visuals that the relationship our character's in isn't working out. And yeah, we're moving in with our character's boyfriend. Not to mention that the apartment is very minimalistic and colorless compared to what our character is like, full of color and so on. Everything we unpack in this level from our stuff is out of place, no matter what it is. It's just out of place. Even our diploma that our character worked so hard to get is just forced to be hidden under the bed instead of being proudly displayed on the wall. When I was unpacking things in, let's say, the living room, I actually had a lot of trouble trying to fit all the books and our character's stuff onto the shelves in a neat, organized way. But when I did, wow, they stand out like scarecrows on a field. It feels invasive, if you ask me, especially in gameplay, because to me, the gameplay is the main thing, but the story is the flavor on top that makes it pop a lot more. Even our character comments in the album entry on the apartment being small that she could barely fit herself in. But I believe that now is a high time to go over to the aftermath of said relationship. "2012, one of the biggest highlights for me in the game, and really the only level I've understood the story for. Our character is moving back in with her parents after a messy breakup with her boyfriend, which is evident from when we try to hang up the photo we saw in the kitchen of the 2010 level. It is a bit more difficult to get all our things fit in as the room feels a lot smaller than it did back when we were a child. But here's something that I really like about the level, that being the song from the OST that plays during the level, that being Lost and Found, which admittedly had by no intention become a staple to my channel, as I used it in almost every single video, but I'm not complaining. It's a good track in the OST, and so is every other track in the entire OST. I also noticed that there are a lot more mids when unpacking things in the bathroom, which suggests that something bad happened to our character in between 2010 and 2012. an injury, back pain, or any other ongoing pain at the given moment. Let's continue. Let's go independent now, alright? In the 2013 level, our character finally moves into their own apartment, and it takes a while to get everything set up. But now, we got our own office area as well, a space for all of our art. It feels so much more spacious than any other place we've had. Plus, we have a queen-sized bed all to ourselves! Wow! I had a few technical issues whilst playing this level, as can be seen in the footage a few times, but that's besides the point, as this level, to me at least, feels very close to home, as it gives me the feeling of a fresh start at the moment of writing and editing this video is what I'm going through as well. Oh well, once as the premiere is going, I'm probably already working on a fresh start thing, I mean. So I really like the level myself. Also, I noticed that rainbow underwear. I see that LGBTQ representation. Good job. Good job. Now let's go to the 2015 level, which is in the same apartment as we were in the 2013 level. But this time our character's girlfriend is moving in, and we're unpacking her things, putting up plans and setting everything up to be just as lively as ours, making it feel so much more cozy, to feel like an actual home. I think what sets this level apart from the others is the fact that we're in the same apartment, which also leads to seeing the personal touches of our own character from in between the 2013 level and this level. And let me just say that I like this most because of its OST as well. The song Soulmate that plays in this. It's so soothing. It feels like everything's gonna be okay, and the recovery that we were going through the last 2 years has started to subside overall. But also because it shows that our character is recovering or has recovered from the events that happened the years prior to it. But now with that knowledge, I think it's time we move to the final level of Unpacking. The final and biggest level of Unpacking, 2018. 2 floors, lots of space, and so much more. Just looking at it is already a feast for the eyes. And unpacking everything to put them into the right place felt really nice. It was everything that our character had worked along with our girlfriend, now wife. The level itself took me about almost an hour and a half to do. Again, I've said this like a million times by now, but I don't want to keep these parts short. I love this level the most out of all of the other ones. It's not the OST that has sold me on this level. Or not just the OST. Sunset and Sunset Revisit are fucking beautiful. It's just one singular room in the 2018 level. The nursery. Yes, you heard me. Correct? You heard me correctly. The nursery is what sold me on the entire 2018 level, because it immediately rang the bell in my head that said, there's gonna be a baby. And I was ecstatic. Even the entry into the album before the credits says, we're so looking forward to meeting you. And then the credits play, with a lovely recap of the story through images of each level.
The moving truck pulls up, there's a knock on the door. Now all your stuff is here, in boxes on the floor. You open up a box, there is so much to do. I open
before finishing on one of the most beautiful shots in the entire game. Our character, wife, and baby all together in one place. And of course, I had to take a screenshot of it as well. After finishing the level, there is one more entry in the album that says, "Thanks for joining me on this journey." So I thank you for joining me on this journey as well. So now, after having talked about everything I could for Unpacking, what makes it so special to me? What is it that makes me love it so much when I don't even understand the story myself most of the time? Well, you see, it's the gameplay. To me, this game story is the flavor on top of the main course, of which is the gameplay. When I discovered the game, I knew nothing about it. Hadn't seen a single video or anything. I found it on a CD key site, from which I bought it because it had piqued my interest. And after buying and playing it for the first time, I fell in love with the game. I'm not exactly sure when this happened, most likely in mid-January of 2024, which meant I was going to an art school after class activity at the time of finding the game. And at the time I wasn't doing well at all. I was under a lot of stress, and that after class activity was a hope to soothe that stress. But in the end it ended up being Unpacking with its OST, gameplay and visuals. Kinda interesting that all the games in this video are special to me because they helped out with my mental health. It seems like games can still have that effect nowadays. Wish there were more though. And now, we've reached the end of the video. If you made it this far, then genuinely, thank you. From the bottom of my heart. For watching this whole thing from start to finish, even if you had the video just playing in the background whilst you did something else. I appreciate it either way. I'm really glad for what I've gotten the chance to make right here, right now. And if YouTube algorithm punish me for it, then that's whatever, I don't care. At least I had fun making this and enjoyed it as well. And it's actually a step up in production and quality too, if you ask me. I never really knew or thought of how I was going to end this video, mostly because I never thought I'd be able to actually make something like this in the first place. But what I do know, everything related to 2016 is talked about in the plans video that went up before this. So with that said, this is the one last goodbye of 2025. I'll see you all in big 2026. Have a good day and night, and I hope to see you all there. Bye bye.